The budget which ends austerity once and for all. This is the budget that will save the NHS. That starts to rebuild our public services the Tories have brought to their knees. A budget that will put money in people's pockets with a real living wage of £10 an hour. Money to fix the worst aspects of universal credit while we design its full replacement. A 5% pay rise for public sector workers after years of pay freezes. And yes, the WASPI compensation scheme, which will be established through legislation, and we will also introduce the legislation that will scrap tuition fees once and for all. Urgent funding will be brought forward rapidly to tackle the funding crisis, yes, in our NHS, but also in our schools and education service. We'll be bringing forward the resources to establish free personal social care. And yes, free childcare for 2-, 3- and 4-year-olds. And we'll also bring it forward, because we face such a crisis with 700 people dying on our streets last year, we'll bring forward urgent homelessness support. And we'll start building those homes that are so desperately needed across our country. And yes, we'll inject more the much needed resources into the council services that have been targeted specifically by this government. We'll start a full comprehensive spending review to follow later in 2020, and that will allocate resources for a full 5-year term. So I can tell you today that as my first act as a Chancellor will be to write to the Office for Budget Responsibility, and we'll ask them to begin their preparations for my first budget, which will be given on the 5th of February. The date when almost 10 years of cuts will come to an end. And when it happens, it will be down to the millions who stood up against what they saw has been happening in our society.